What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going through the best and worst tattoo TikToks I can find. So let's jump into it. Okay, we're starting off with this little goofy tattoo. Yeah, that's it. Just like a little goofball tattoo. Nothing wrong with it. This is called Ignorant Style. It was really popular a couple of years back and since has fallen out of trend. Am I happy about that? Kind of. Am I sad about that? Kind of. I guess I never got to do any of these dumb looking tattoos, so I'm a little jealous, but it is a trend that I'm truly glad has died off a little bit. This one says, who's a good boy, ? And the dog says, F off, Jerry, I'm a bad boy now. Sweet. Great, perfect tattoo. A lot of times Ignorant Style had like really dumb imagery with some dumber words, and I'm always like, who's surprised that trend fell off? On to the next. Okay, we're actually talking about trendy tattoos today. Okay, we got the flower, leaf, branch, stencil, tatter. Okay, I feel like this is the tattoo that, someone pulls up their sleeve and they're like, look at my new tattoo. And they like have to explain exactly what the process was in order for it to seem cool to people. Like this person goes home, they're like, look at my brand new tattoo. And everyone goes like, yeah, I like it. And he goes like, yeah, like the tattooer, they like got real leaves, like they went and foraged them. And then they like put this like purple stuff on them. And then they like put it on my legs. So it was like the stencil of earth was on my leg. And I'm like, yeah, cool. If you have to do that much explaining on why you got a tattoo and how the tattoo process went, I don't know. I don't think that comes out to a good tattoo. What I want for our clients is like they go home and they show their sleeve or their leg sleeve or whatever, and people are just like, I love that. It looks so nice. It looks beautiful. Great tattoo. On to the next. Don't need to explain it to me. Other than that, if you have to give a description for why something's cool, especially a tattoo, I don't know. What does that say? It says to me that it's not that cool. But to each their own. It's not bad tattooing. It's just trendy. On to the next. Okay, I knew why I put this one in here because I'm so sad that this scorpion is getting lasered. I just love this scorpion. Like the tattoo itself is not like that great, but the placement of it and the fact that he's only got the scorpion. Usually, if you follow this channel long enough, you know that I would almost always comment on the fact that he has 0 tattoos and then a handbanger. But in this case, I like it. I'm not gonna lie, dudes. I like it. I'm not staying consistent today, baby. We're going off. I like this scorpion handbanger, and I like that it's the only tattoo he has. And then he got it lasered. No surprise there, but I've made this whole story up in my head. I imagine him getting older and he's in his 60s and he only has one tattoo and it's a scorpion on his hand, and all of his grandkids are like, my grandpa was tough. That's what I see happening. And then this guy was like, no, I'm not that grandpa. I am the grandpa that had something tough that got it lasered. Bummer, 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 because I liked that tattoo. On to the next. On to the next, guys. Okay, just some beautiful, simple tattooing. Now I say simple because the techniques that this tattooer is using are very simple. I look at this tattoo and I can like do it in my head. Like if you told me to replicate it, all the techniques and the ideas I could virtually do. Definitely not at this caliber, but like I understand them. And the designs and the healed version of this tattoo look so fucking good that it forces people to think about what makes a good tattoo, because it's clear to me that the simpler you make an idea and the better you execute it, the better the outcomes are. Like I want you to take a moment to look at this man's face, and like he's got white paint, right? And a lot of you guys are probably sitting at home being like, there's nothing special about that. There is. It's special because you can tell exactly what it is in a black and gray form, and he didn't have to pull out the color white. He didn't have to do anything like that. He just used very small amounts of gray shading to give the illusion that it's a white painted face. And there's no one in their right mind that could tell me that that's not a beautifully executed tattoo that won't heal up amazing for the rest of this dude's life. So shout out to Frankie Lozano for not only executing a beautiful tattoo, but using ethics. Like, how can I make this tattoo as good as possible using techniques that I know will stand and last the test of time? Good on him. Frankie Lozano, don't know where he's from. Maybe leave a comment. Shout that guy out. On to the next. On this channel, we've covered a few different cosmetic tattooing, and usually I don't want to throw up when we talk about it. Now, I don't want to throw up because of the way it looks or anything like that. I want to throw up because it gives me such anxiety looking at this. Like thinking of a 20-year-old kid being at home, being like, oh, freckles are popular right now. Let me just bash them into my face when I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's pretty normal to see redness around face tattoos, but this level of redness is alarming, and it leads me to think that she's done something that is gonna be very hard to fix. I don't know that for sure, but it looks like either like blowouts or infections or something like that. And like you can see how swollen her face is, and it just, like I said, makes my stomach hurt. It makes me want to throw up a little bit because I hate the fact that someone's doing this to themselves. I do. Look, when I was a little kid, I tattooed myself and I tattooed other people. I was 12. This person's not unique for being so dumb and doing this to their face. I was dumb and did that to other people when I was, a little kid. So I feel for her. But the older you get, the more you should realize, don't be dumb, I hope. I hope. Stop doing fucking shit to your face. Stop doing things at home to your face. So, cosmetic freckles, they're okay. Don't do them yourself. What do you guys think? I don't know. Why am I asking you guys? I don't care. I'm just gonna go on. On to the next. Dude, free ball. Okay, we got a good one today. First off, I wanna say that Futurama tat above this one, I actually really like. I don't love all the techniques and the ideas behind it, like putting so much yellow around the tattoo without any like strong outline. But the tattoo, which is not done, that tattoo does not look like it was done by Small Lizbidi. But this tattoo, no stencil, had to fit around a bunch of different tattoos and looks so cool. One of the things I really like about this tattoo in particular is how black they made the design and then how saturated in color it looks. What I'm talking about is like in the mouth, you see there's a lot of heavy blacks. The outline was heavy black, and then they did wall to wall on the green. Brilliant. It's brilliant because once he came in and he used this red and he just kind of like fanned it out, that looks so strong that it adds some flavor to the tattoo. And that's what's so cool about traditional tattooing. You guys know, I like traditional. We talk about traditional all the time. But that's one of the best things about traditional tattooing, that not only you know that you're making like a super solid design that's gonna last forever, but there's so much, like there's so many little things that can change the outcome of a tattoo. Like he could have done a lot of things here that would have made the tattoo cool and interesting or whatever. But because he went through and he like really thought about how he was gonna play with these things, it makes the whole idea just like blast off in my mind. I just go, ooh, God, I love that, dude. In tattooing, I think that there's a lot of limitations. You cannot convince me that something that looks good on paper will immediately look good as a tattoo. And I think that when people use those limitations to their advantage, it ends up making amazing, beautiful, strong tattoos forever. And this is a guy who's like doing little things, playing with the limitations of tattooing and forcing you to look at the tattoo and be like, that's bitchin'. Ain't nothing else about it. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you guys. We are well on our way to 50,000 subs. And if you guys don't mind liking and subscribing to the channel, the more people we get in our community, the less shitty tattoos are out in the world. So thank you so much. So it says, tattoo artist at the bar listening to sleeve ideas. Guys, if you ever meet a tatter in the real world, don't talk to them about tats. Unless you have a bunch and like, unless you're really actually gonna try and get tattooed by that person, don't bring it up. Some tattooers love it, most don't. The amount of times I've had conversations with people about tattoos that they never got, or sometimes never wanted to get from me in the first place, is staggering. It's like any social event I'm at least 2, maybe 3 people will tell me an idea for a tattoo and they'll be like, kind of yapping my ear off. I'm sorry, I'm a tattooer. This is what happens in my life. It's fine, I'm gonna get over it, but I'm gonna tell you about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. Honestly, you know, because I don't have so many tattoos that you're like, most people don't assume I'm a tattooer. A lot of times I won't even tell people. Like people will ask me like, oh, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an artist or whatever. Or I try to even like sidestep the question. And then my girlfriend, who's amazing, love her to death, but she immediately will go, he's a tattooer, and force me to have that conversation. And she giggles and walks off. It's hilarious. I'm glad she has fun with it. But to me, I'm always like, fuck, now I have to spend at least 15 minutes talking about tattoos. And then at the end, we have to have this awkward exchange where people are like, oh yeah, cool. Like, hey, let me get your information. I want to get that tattoo from you. And then they look at my stuff and what they want is so far from anything I've ever done or want to do that I'm always left being like, that person is disappointed. Because unless they're like, I want something traditional as hell or something weird and traditional, we're left with zero space. They're like, oh, you can't do a portrait of Mike Tyson? And I'm like, fuck no, dude, I can't. I cannot, I will not. You ain't getting that from me. So we spent 30 minutes talking about nothing. On to the next.
5 tattoos that could get you in serious trouble. Number 1.
So let me say, before we get into this one, like anytime we see these on TikTok or Instagram or wherever we see them, I always know that I'm gonna have like a reaction to something that it makes me upset. I'm like, that's not what these fucking things mean. Or it's like, this guy's saying that these are gonna get you in serious trouble. What? Okay, but let's listen.
The bow tie on the neck. This tattoo is often forcefully applied to thieves that have broken the thieves' code by siding with authority.
Okay, fine. If you're in a Russian prison, maybe don't have a bow tie tattoo.
Number 2, the 5-dot tattoo. This tattoo can also be called the quincux, and it's supposed to represent a lengthy prison sentence. The 4 dots are supposed to represent the walls, when the dot in the middle is supposed to represent the prisoner. Number 3, the 5-pointed crown. Crown tattoos are super popular, but the 5-pointed crown belongs to the Latin kings. Unless you're part of that gang, I would not get this tattoo.
Okay, this is the one. We watched all those. I'm gonna comment on those later. But this is the one that I had a gut reaction that was like, what the fuck?
Number 4, sugar skulls. Unless you're part of Mexican culture or heritage, getting this sugar skull tattoo, it probably won't be perceived well. And a lot of artists out there will refuse to tattoo sugar skulls unless you're part of that heritage.
These are gonna get you in serious trouble. Okay, you guys all know, probably a lot of you guys know, I own a tattoo shop in Mexico. Half of my fucking shop's rent is paid off of sugar skulls. Now, you might be like, hey, Kirk, you're just some white guy in Mexico, which is kind of half true, half not true. But I've tattooed with a bunch of friends. A lot of them are Mexican, and a lot of them would not even fucking bat an eye at doing a sugar skull on some white guy. That's just the truth. And I've seen it happen time and time again. So like, this will get you in serious trouble is not only fucking kind of delusional, but it's just silly. And one thing that popped into my brain when I heard this, and I don't like being this hyperbolic or like this kind of guy where I'm like, ooh, that's like all sensitive and stuff. But it does make me laugh in this particular point because what he talks about first is like Russian criminals, right? And then he goes to prisoners. So, hey, probably pretty dangerous folk. You don't want to be fucking around with those types of people. You don't want to be, you know, caught doing the wrong thing. Like there's a lot of tattoos out there. If you got a 1%er badge and you're not a biker, maybe don't fucking have. So, and then he goes on to talk about the Latin kings. Dangerous gang, fairly dangerous. You don't want to be fucking around with them. And then he's like, Mexicans. Again, I don't think there's anything to it. I'm not claiming anything. I was like, what the fuck? Like just the whole group, Mexicans. It's like, bro. So like I said, every time I watch these types of things, I just end up feeling like, someone on TikTok somewhere said something. And then everyone who has a 5-pointed crown, who's never even fucking heard of the Latin Kings, has like this amount of shame that comes with the tattoo. And they're like, oh, you know, and depending on who these people are, a lot of them are sitting there being like, oh, I shouldn't have got this tattoo. And it's like, no, you don't have to be ashamed. It's a 5-pointed star. You're gonna be fine. You know, how many Latin Kings are there in the world? You're gonna make it okay. And if you're a white guy in Mexico and you're like, ooh, I have this fucking sugar skull, don't worry. Just go to Puerto Vallarta, go to Cabo, go to Cancun, and you're gonna see at least 40,000 white guys with a sugar skull. It's all good. No one gives a shit. It's not gonna put you in serious trouble. Just the truth. On to the next.
This dude got 3D tats.
Okay, we have to acknowledge how much work a back piece is before I go in through kind of fucking talking a little bit of shit, because that's what I do. But like, this back piece must have taken fucking forever. And he decided to make it a 3D back piece. Okay, so it actually works, which is not that surprising. I've seen this type of stuff done before, but what's surprising is that he committed a whole back piece to it. Now, I don't think I'm, taking any leaps here to say that that back piece does not look good when you're not looking through it with glasses. Sometimes on this channel, I'm like, can we have some like honest conversation about that back piece does not look good and should not have been done in that way for someone to wear glasses and look at it. Hey, if it makes them happy, I'm all for it. I always say, I don't care what people are doing. I just would like to prevent other people from making the same mistakes, because that back piece does not look good. And then you put the glasses up and you're like, oh, it works. Lot of fucking pain went into that idea. And I'm like, should have just done this image as a tattoo. That would look good forever, instead of smurfing it up and making it this blue blob. So is this guy like just carrying around stacks of 3D glasses, handing them out like fucking chocolates to people to be like, look at my back piece? Seriously, like what? Is that what's going on here? I don't know, but I know not into it. On to the next. Okay, I think this is Pete Davidson's tattoo. I don't remember, but it said, my girl is a lawyer. It says Kim Kardashian. I think it was his tattoo. And this just, one was fucking brilliant, and two just made me actually laugh, which is rare when it comes to tattoo TikToks. So let's see it. My girl is a lawyer, and this person finesses it to say, my Squirtle is a lawyer.
So I better give him a few more choices.
It's goofy as fuck, but I love it, dude. Look, dude, it's not lost on me how difficult it would be to see that and make that happen with like the wordplay. Brilliant. Good on my sweet Adeline. I appreciate your enthusiasm for fixing shit tattoos. On to the next. Okay, so we got a Hanya white blast over on the face. Okay, now, this is a person who's clearly willing to take some risks on their face tattoos. So good for them. Do I think it looked good? No. Do I think it will look good? Not particularly. But I will say, I'm not the expert in this type of tattooing. Who we need to really ask is Ephemeral Remy. But to me, it doesn't look good. It looks like a silly mistake. And yeah, it's gonna be the thumbnail. So on to the next. Okay, so we got some eyes tattooed. First off, there's nothing more complicated or hard to pull off than people's eyes. These things right here, very hard to replicate, especially in tattoo form. The first girl, the one on the top left, I feel like they did an okay version of it. The other ones, maybe it's because of the angle of the photo or whatever, they don't look like the person's eyes. But as a dude talking to other people, whether you're a guy or a girl, don't do stuff like this. Don't. Look, I'm all for couple tats. You want a couples tat? Bring it my way. I'll tattoo it all day. You want your significant other's name? Go for it. Make it small. Make it easy to cover up, because chances are there's like a 50% chance you're not gonna be with that person. And if you're throwing that person's eyes right here, all massive on your forearm, there's gonna be a day where your guys are fighting and you're thinking, I no longer want to be with this person. And then you're gonna look down at your fucking arm and you're gonna be like, I got no other choice. I got no choices. I guess I gotta be with this person. And that's what happens. Not really. People break up, it's not a big deal. But you don't wanna look down and be like, fuck, what am I gonna do with that shit? And you know what also makes me think, now they've fallen out of trend, but lipstick tattoos, neck form, happen all the time. Just a little fun fact for you guys. If you ever bring me lipstick tattoos, people are always like, oh, these are my lips. And I go, yeah, they're your lips. And I like kind of roughly trace that part, and then I completely ignore the lipstick marks, and I do a version of lipstick tats that are looking like actual lipstick. Because like when you actually look at that, it looks like nothing, just a bunch of like fucking zigzags and stuff. So I trace it, and then I go on the internet, and then I get the fucking inside, and I'm like, that's what you're getting, that's gonna look great, I love it, oh yay. So you think you're getting fucking significant other's lips, but that's like not really possible. So just so you know, if you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna get lipstick tattoos, you're not. On to the next. Okay, we got, is this a double Squirtle for you guys? I think that's Squirtle, I'm pretty sure that's Squirtle. Yeah. Okay, so these like elbow things, we were seeing them popping off all over the place. You see them, and they kind of like don't work that well. I don't recommend it for mostly anyone ever. One of the reasons is because you got this space right here and you got this space right here. Both of those spaces are very important to building a sleeve. You want to get something big right here and you want to get something big right here. But because you did this fucking goofy like arm thingy thing, you fucked up that space with this thing, and then you fucked up this space with this thing. I'm all for like gimmicky, playful, whatever. Make good tattoos that will look cool forever. Make sleeves that will look cool forever. That is the key to this game. Making nice, long-lasting tats that make people happy forever. Now, is this person gonna be happy with this? Maybe. Is it gonna be impossible to build a sleeve around it? No. But it is not right to blast that much white into a tattoo because you are not gonna see that stuff stay. Just the truth. So that is it, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you're making good decisions out here, getting sick ass tatties. I know you guys are, because whenever you guys send me stuff, I'm always like, they got fucking cool tattoos. We got the best, strongest, smartest tat community out in the fucking game, dude. So I'll see you in a few days. I appreciate you.